Hey everybody, this is Grace. In this video, I'm going to talk about something that happened to me yesterday with people. Some people would call like toxic people or narcissistic people, psychopathic people, various things. I'll go through those. And this was over the phone, and I want to talk about my reactions, and I want to talk just about what they do. Plus, after all this happened, I was still sitting in my SUV, and I was making a video, and in that video you can hear me, the anxiety in me, in my voice, and my lack of concentration, which I still have after dealing with him. And I'm going to try to remember to put that video at the end of this one, so you'll hear another "Hey everybody, this is Grace" all over again. It's not the same video, it's a different one. So okay, pardon the way I'm doing the video, the view. This is how I'm doing it with this pandemic and all. And yeah, so just pardon that. But anyway, yesterday, I mean, have you ever had anybody, a person or people, let's say plural, people, some kind of group or whatever in your life, and you would prefer to be able to go no contact with them? Totally, but you can't for whatever reason, some legal reason or just some moral reason. You know, some people still have morals and all that these days, but you just can't go totally no contact, so you go low contact with them, and you try to keep it very brief. You know, maybe just in text or whatever, email, just very brief. Well. And the reason is because they've done you really wrong. They've done you wrong, other people wrong that you know, and so forth. But for whatever reason, you have to be in contact with them. You know, some people would say like a dysfunctional family, and you have an elderly parent, and you don't want to go no contact with the elderly parent, but you have to deal with his siblings and something like that, or a former business partner, and you still have legal issues to deal with because they screwed you and the company, and you see what I'm saying? So you still have to deal with them. Okay. Now, I have more than one situation in my life like that. I learned many years ago how bad some of these people are, various people in my life, but for the longest, some people would warn me, about this person or that person when I was younger, much younger, and I just wouldn't believe them. And then how you go through life and you start learning things, and there wasn't that much information out about something like this when I was younger. I'm 57 now, and no, I would say it was really, to where people know more about it. I think it's more recent years, say in the past 10 maybe, that I know of, that people are more aware of these behaviors like narcissistic people, histrionic people, borderline, antisocial, psychopaths, sociopaths. Now, psychopaths and sociopaths, I think for many years, many people knew about them, but the other ones, not so much. I had first heard about borderline, I don't know how many years ago, but I studied to become a counselor for way back then. And some of the terminology, some of the words, all of it, the way they, the way that this all changed. Much of it has changed. So, anyway. Now, so there wasn't that much information out there when I was younger, and as I, got older, I started putting the pieces together myself. Well, I started putting the pieces together myself when I was a child. How so many, how can people be raised in the same family and some are good and some are bad, kind of thing. Okay, I have to keep turning it off because there must be a lot of pollen in the air today. Yeah, I keep having allergy attack. But anyway, let me try to get on with this. So this has happened to me again. People that I have gone low contact with because they are just really bad people, like both males and females, such as what some people call narcissistic flying monkeys. The ones like on the Wizard of Oz. They take up for the bad the wicked ones. And they just don't see how, or maybe they do and they don't care because they can use the person like one of them is, to me, this person is just really like a psychopath. Doesn't care about people's lives and how much harm they could cause that person. And then there's one that uses that person and is rather histrionic and abusive. And all the other ones use the one that's a psychopath, but the psychopath likes it because people take up for her. That's a her. I try to say they or something, but no, this is a her. But they're not all female. It's a mix. And I know it. I've heard it for years, and just little things that I had experienced, and finally I saw this is bad. This was many years ago. So, but still having to have some, contact, low contact, and that was what happened yesterday. And one of the things I did, I'd put it off for a really long time, and when yesterday I just felt like, okay, today I can handle it. I can take care of this. So I tried to make phone calls. 2 of them didn't answer. None of them answered. I just only called the first 2, and I decided just to text to try to get them to tell me what was going on with this issue. And I finally had to contact the one that was the psychopath, empathic behaviors. And these aren't diagnosing anybody, but through text, and she replied, okay, that all made sense, that was good, that was fine, okay, and over with. But during the while, as I've reflected on it later on, I could tell that I was having issues, because like I said, I had come out to my SUV to make the phone calls. No reason, just it calms me to be in my car, my SUV. And right after that, I decided to go ahead and make a video while I was outside. It felt the weather was good and all that. And like I said, my voice, you could hear it in it. I couldn't concentrate like now. I couldn't, I was stuttering and stammering, like I said. And it was bad. I don't even know what the video is about anymore. I just made that yesterday because it's, and then I felt really bad. I said, why, with other people, around other situations, even people who are bad, I don't stutter, stammer. I don't, I got over that. And, so then I started blaming myself. Why am I doing this? What's wrong? Why can't I get this together? And then, how you have to walk away for a little while. And mine was to go to sleep, at nighttime, and woke up this morning and thought, I am being very hard on myself. That's what I thought. I'm being very hard on myself because these people are bad. These people are really bad. And they could be very dangerous to me. Now, there's nothing that I'm doing that they're, they could, say that I'm doing and prove that I'm doing, because I'm not doing it. That doesn't matter with these people. They will make up stuff. Okay? They will make up stuff. And in that, making up stuff, the smear campaign, the whole thing behind your back, telling people all kinds of lies about you. And it doesn't have to be anything like you would go to jail. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about they just ruin your reputation. So, dealing with them, even though you don't want to, you want to, no contact, but you have to have low contact. To me, I say you and I mean me, run the risk of them taking anything, just to keep it, I would have to keep it very brief, because they would take anything to use to do like a smear campaign, or, something that would be true, but they twist it in a way with other people to where it would sound bad, to be bad. Yeah, that's how bad they are. And, some would say, well, that's nothing. Well, believe me, it's something. It is something. Yeah. Okay, I wrote some notes, but I'm just going to go through them real quick. But yeah, I could see that I was really nervous yesterday. And, you know, like I was saying, putting too much pressure on myself, and I might as well see, why it is, in that part, it still kind of doesn't sink in enough for me to say, don't put pressure on myself. Don't blame myself for my response to them, because these people are actually dangerous. It's kind of like some kind of denial or something in me to not want to see how dangerous they are. And that I should feel this kind of anxiety. I should feel worried to have any contact with them. You see, so yeah, I blame the victim, me. I blame myself. Let me see if I can find more in here. Yeah, and as I mentioned, I was warned by other people, throughout all of that. And I was younger. But anyway, I'm glad that's over. I think it's the bad thing is, once dealing with them, it takes me a little while. I know this from past experience. Having to contact them. When I say dealing with, I mean, any kind of contact, even in text. Text, you can step back for a second and wait before you respond, and not like in person or over the phone or on Skype or whatever, Zoom. Yeah. It just, but I know still, I was very careful with how I said things, but still, anything can come back. And so it takes me a little while to get over that, to get it out of my mind and, move on. But the anxiety there is there. And, these are people, like I said, could really do harm. Yeah. But anyway, have you ever had that kind of experience yourself? Now, like I said, I'm going to try to remember to attach that other video to the, right now. Once I finish speaking on this, you'll hear the other one start. And like I said, I don't even remember what it was about. That's how bad I felt. And I stuttered and stammered, and you will hear it even worse than this first part. I'm fairly certain. Okay, so let me put that right here. Hey everybody, this is Grace. This video, I want to talk about when people, for whatever reason, expect you to basically forgive. Now, forgiveness is up to you, but they expect you to forgive somebody who does you wrong simply because they think that you should. And or simply because they say that the person has some kind of psychological disorder, a mental disorder, and that you should be forgiving when that person has done you wrong, like I just said. But again, I want to point this out, that there's, make this real loud and clear. They expect you to. Like I said, forgiveness is on you. Whenever you feel comfortable forgiving, that's up to you. Not for somebody to tell you what to do. Okay. Now, let me give an example. Say that somebody has, somebody that's known to have a personality disorder, cluster B, and they were actually diagnosed with it. Let's say histrionic personality disorder. And that person does something wrong to you. You can say narcissistic personality disorder, whatever. And they do something wrong. They abuse you. And another person, not their counselor, not law enforcement or anything like that, just another person says, well, they have that personality disorder, so you shouldn't be complaining about what they're doing. Not because you're with them. They're not blaming you, the victim, in that way. They're just telling you that you should know, because they have that disorder, that whatever they do is just automatically forgiven because they have that disorder. Now, you would think they're crazy, wouldn't you? Say, no, I'm not here for that person just to be abused and get away with it. Okay, that person needs to go to counseling. See how counseling can help them to stop hurting others. From what I understand, it's not something that will ever be repaired and be fixed. But it's not your problem. You're not there to be their punching bag. You're not there to be one for them to take anything they want to out on you, to steal from you, to do whatever. That's not your role in life. Okay, now you can go no contact and have nothing to do with that person if you can. But no matter what, your purpose on this earth is not to be abused by people who have any kind of personality disorder or who are just abusive. Okay, that's not your role in this life of yours. Okay, but there are some people who truly believe, that you do have to take it because that person is disordered. No, you don't. I mean, unless there's some reason. I mean, there are things like people being children of, and they're actually living in the household or whatever is binding them to them. But I can see that being very rare, unless you're a minor, of course. I'm talking about adults here. What is the purpose why you have to be there to take whatever they throw at you? Is there something legal that could possibly do that? Think about it. And of course, it's not a one-size-fits-all kind of thing. And some people, it might be the only job they have, and they, don't want to go, starve because they quit the job, and it's the boss who is the person doing this. But you know what I mean. Just somebody, I'll give an example. Okay, I've done plenty of videos about, plenty of them, about people who will just steal people's ideas. And this goes way back. Like, I can remember when I was a child, I was a young adult, and somebody had stolen the ideas from my dad, and it had been his best friend. And his best friends, both of them were his friends, a man and his daughter. The man, my dad's age, and his daughter, they were his friends, and they stole a bunch of ideas from him that made them a lot of money. And not my dad, made the man and his daughter money. They're stealing them. And the stories just go on. I've seen this happen over and over. People will steal people's ideas, and they make money off of it and all that. And people, others would say, well, he's just that way, and you're just going to have to forgive him. That's just how it is. That kind of attitude, the voice and all, man. I think I landed that one right on target. You just have to forgive him. That's just how it is. That whole thing of, it basically is turning it around on you. If you're wrong because you just can't let it go. You're wrong because you just can't get over it, and just see that's reality. Life is not fair. That kind of mentality whenever something goes wrong and somebody else succeeds because of it. Okay, and you're just supposed to forgive them according to these people. No, that's not a good thing. Now, say it could be any kind of situation. That's just what I do quite often. But any kind where somebody is abusing you, using and abusing, or, so, yeah. Okay, and pardon the way I'm doing my videos, but yeah, it's still a pandemic, and if you hear the air conditioner, it's 91 degrees right now, and this is Texas. And yeah, I got the air conditioner on. But anyway, to move on. Now, recently, not too recent, but I guess within a month, I did some videos, I think a couple of them. I don't know if I made both of them public, but yeah, I think I did. On dissociative identity disorder, it used to be called, formerly known as multiple personality disorder. I don't know if they made it, combined it or something, or maybe, because there's so much more to it, I still haven't gotten back to it and read it. But basically, I got a couple of, comments that were trying to tell me that, in the videos, I taught, on one of them, I think, I mentioned this about somebody stealing my ideas, and she was really bad about it, but I wasn't the only person, and it was as though she kind of morphed. That's not the term for it, but that's how I was, I was watching it. She was on video, and she would suddenly change into the whole persona of the person she was stealing their ideas. And I wasn't the only one. It was other ones too. Sure, we know people who use, terms that other people use, or they will like something the other person likes. But no, this was deeper. This was like the personality changed. It switched. Okay? Just changed suddenly, then it went back. So, anyway, I had mentioned that in this other video, at least one. And, I said I can't forgive that I don't think I said that I can't get my words out today for some reason. My goodness. But I don't think that I said that I won't forgive that person. That's nobody's business. That's mine. Nobody should be telling me what I should do and what I should think. And I did say that multiple personality disorder is one that when I was studying as for counseling classes and studying for my degrees, that was one I didn't believe so much in. I kind of rode the fence on it, but no, overall I didn't. So I didn't study it enough, and things have changed since way back then. And there's more to it now. But anyway, I still said I really didn't, know. But anyway, somebody told me that if somebody says that they are, that I should believe them. That's not for them to tell me to do. Okay, that's not for them to say. I will believe what I believe. And I want to make that clear. Comments like that I usually just block delete when somebody tries to tell me what to do. No, you're not infantilizing me, so no. And anyway, but there was another one that seemed like the same person. I'm pretty sure it is. I'm pretty sure I know who it is. So, and it's their fake account, that person's fake account. That person has a few fake accounts. But it's kind of, you can kind of tell if you've been around long enough. Anyway, the other one said basically that that people just have to forgive the person with multiple personalities, and more when they do that of switching and all of this, because they have a disorder. And I'm like, I don't think so. Somebody steals your ideas. They're stealing from you. That's them. It's not just, oh, okay, well, can you imagine how many people would claim that anytime they got in trouble, they would just say, well, I have dissociative identity disorder. No. Now, I do have an article I printed out. I haven't read it. I've read some of it. That's kind of debating this, or maybe not debating it, just stating it. But I haven't read it, so I'm not sure what that says, and I make up my own mind. I'm an independent thinker. But no, I could see that could run into so much trouble. So many people would be blaming things like that. And what are you doing? Are you helping the person and the people around that person, the people who are affected in any way by that person, by just excusing it off? And I'm talking about the cluster Bs too. Just excusing, oh, well, they have this disorder. Oh, well, that's how it is. Are you doing anybody any good by forgiving them? Or, just excusing them off? I'm not talking about forgiving, but excusing their behavior off. No. These are people who need to take control of themselves and get help. Not just say, well, this is how I am, and you just have to deal with it. And for others to say that's just how they are, you have to deal with it. Again, we're not on this planet to be abused by others. We're not their punching bags for other people. No. Okay. Now, this is my opinion, and I reserve the right to change my mind at any time I feel like it. So, that doesn't even need to be said. But I will say this. After I made that video, the person who was doing that to me and others, like I said, I was not the only person. It was the woman. A woman. She stopped. I guess. I don't watch her much anymore. And yes, it was on video. But she stopped, which is a good thing. Maybe it kind of shook her up a little bit. And maybe I'm not saying that, I was not diagnosing her at all. But what I saw was kind of freaky. And the question was, is that how that it works for some people? That's not something just internal. It's that they morph characters, take somebody else's persona. Persona. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Okay. I just thought I'd sit out here and talk about this one. But I'm thinking of adding another video to this video that did earlier today. It's not on the same topic, but maybe not, because this one's going to be short and short and sweet. Right. But and that kind of, it didn't bother me, but it made me worry about people who have that kind of mentality, that kind of view about things. Now, I know that there are parents who have children and their child has some kind of disorder, perhaps even, the ones I've known was borderline personality disorder. And the parents, have to deal with the child that has sway. And even, like in their teens. Now, I don't know how early they can diagnose somebody with borderline personality disorder, but I've known some that have stated they're teenager, about 16 or 17, and they have to deal with deal with the behaviors and all the things that their child does wrong to them. I don't know if I could myself. I don't know what would a person do if they just could not handle being abused by their child, a teenage child like that. And I never had to experience that. So, and I stay away from talking about minors. So, I don't know. Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna close it down. I don't know what's wrong with me. I think I missed my nap today. Something. I need a nap. But anyway, what do you think? Maybe I'll add another one to it or not. But what do you think about forgiving somebody because they're disordered? I just don't get it. So many people would be saying, oh, okay, just go get, oh my goodness. Just say, go to a counselor or a psychiatrist and act whatever way they wanted to be labeled so then they could get away with whatever they wanted to. No, we don't want a world like that. You don't, that's not helping. Like I said, it's just not helping. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up. Talk to you on another video.